Well, hi everyone, and welcome to a relatively short Coffee with Craig. Today I'm going to be looking at the Roger Waters controversy that's all over the press at the moment. And this is part of a series of videos I'm going to do about cancel culture. Well, hi again, everybody. Those that follow the channel know that these programs are all about kind of taking a spiritual view of events that are happening in the world, sometimes with predictions, sometimes without. Today, I just want to voice a thought about what's happening with Roger Waters. Now, in particular, because Jane and I were there last night at the O2. If you see the press today, it's all over the press again that Roger Waters has been speaking out in ways that have offended a lot of people, particularly the Jewish community. So we had fun because that was my birthday present from Jane, actually, from January, and we went to the O2 yesterday to see the show, and as usual, Pink Floyd, brilliant, Roger Waters, brilliant. They were one of the first bands I got mad about when I was a teenager. I went to see them when I was 15 years old and had front row seats then. And we had front row seats this time. And this is the end of Roger Waters' career at the moment. This is his farewell tour he's talking about here with this. So what happened? Well, it was a bit like a political rally at times, if I'm honest, because he is very political with his music, and music can be a very powerful tool for change. So I think music is something that is very dangerous when we start wanting to cancel it, because it's the voice. It was the voice of the 60s originally, and it should be the voice today. A call for change. It's not always necessarily sensible political debate, is it? You know, I personally think some of Roger Waters' ideas are perhaps a little bit naive, a little bit over optimistic. You know, just get rid of nuclear weapons and that's it. Everything's fine. But, you know, what if North Korea keep them? They could rule the UK, couldn't they? So yeah, there's lots of questions it raises. But sometimes I think these things do stink a bit of cancel culture, don't they? This time it seems to be the left cancelling it. In fact, we've got both sides attacking Roger Waters. Michael Gove from the Conservative Party in the UK here, so that's one side of the political spectrum for those in America, and Keir Starmer on the other side attacking him as well. So he's been attacked on all directions. But we were there, front row seats, so I recorded it, actually. So that's why I'm putting this video up, so you can have a look at it and make your own mind up. You know, is this cancel culture again? Are they jumping on these things, and are we getting far too sensitive about these things? Or, you know, is this just blatant anti-Semitism? What do you think? Your comments, please. Anyway, here's the clip.
Bullshit. Okay, so I just have a brief word with our not friend, Christian Wakefield, MP for Bury South. Maybe you don't know about this. I don't know how long it takes for the news to get from Manchester, though in fact this news happened in London. This is what he said. This bloke, I'm not going to call him names. He stood up in the House of Commons a couple of days ago, and this is what he said. He said, I can't do his accent, but he said the city of Manchester has a rich and vibrant history. He's Labour MP, this guy. Only just, he was a Tory MP about 10 minutes ago, and he's suddenly changed sides, which shows what kind of a bloke he is. Anyway, never mind. City of Manchester has a rich and vibrant history in which those of different faiths and backgrounds have lived together as well as stood together through difficult times and times of division. So I'm concerned to note that Roger Waters is due to play at the AO Arena in Manchester next month. This is in the House of Commons, all right? So I'm concerned to note that Roger Waters, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Waters performed in Berlin this week, and he used the name of Anne Frank to stoke division, performed while dressed as an SS soldier, and used the Star of David on a giant pig to insinuate that Jewish people run the world, forcing the Jewish Council of Greater Manchester to issue a statement condemning his decisive action. Well, Christian, the old mucker. Lie one, that I used the name of Anne Frank to stoke division. That is a blatant and evil and vicious lie. No, I did not. These people in this room here, Christian, have just seen Anne Frank's name up on the screens along with the names of a dozen other people killed either by militarised police or by tyrannical racist regimes. Anne Frank is one of them, and we pay our respect to Anne Frank by remembering her name. Okay, so, well, thank you. Their complaint, by the way, was that also in that list of names was Shireen Abu Akleh, who was not 16, unlike Anne Frank when she died. She was 51, and she was shot to death by an Israeli IDF soldier on the outskirts of the town of Jenin. On purpose. She was murdered by a racist, tyrannical regime. That's why they're both on the same thing together. Nothing to do with creating division. All right, that was lie number one. Lie number two, performed while dressed as an SS soldier. No, I didn't. Christian, no, I didn't. They have insignia, they have SS written up here. I had crossed hammers. And if you tell me that doesn't make a difference, you're even dimmer than I thought you were. It's called theatre, darling. It's called satire. We've been doing it since Bertolt Brecht and Shakespeare, you fucking moron. And then finally, and I am going to stop, but I'm not going to get to the others. Last of all, he said, what did he say? Oh, and used the Star of David on a giant pig, blah, blah, blah. Guess what, Christian? I didn't. Do your research, cripple. What are you talking? Why don't you go and find out? Why not speak to people who were at that gig in Berlin? Very like this audience here tonight, though, where there were lovely people that come to see what I had to show them after fucking 60 years. You are making shit up because you've been told to by your masters in the Foreign Office in Tel Aviv. Because this hate is being organised from Israel. And I'm not afraid to say it because I know, Christian Wakefield, that what I'm saying is not a lie. All right, I'll finish.
Well, he did say on the show that Israel was to blame for all wars. Now, he didn't say Jews were to blame for all wars. He said Israel. So anyway, so some interesting thoughts there. Let's have your comments. What do you think? Are you for Roger Waters? Do you think we should be shouting out through music? I think music actually is a very powerful force. It could be a force for spiritual movements. It could be a force for change. It can be a force for healing, or it can be a force for political views. It's many things. So it's a very powerful thing. So let's have your comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
if you look back at my earlier predictions, and in particular the predictions I made on the newspaper, the Sun's website, I did actually say on there, the actual words were, there will be a flu epidemic linked to bioterrorism.
And my thoughts are that Liz Truss will make it to the final, be the next PM. I think she will actually have a final battle between her and Rishi Sunak. We've not seen the full end of Boris Johnson either, I tell you. But Rishi Sunak actually will eventually, I feel, be the next leader of the Conservatives. So I think there's going to be a few conflicts that Britain's going to be drawn into, including I think Russia is going to take some moves against Ukraine. I think she will make it past her platinum jubilee, which comes up this year. But I think after that, we'll see a sudden and quick deterioration in the Queen's health. And I think we might lose the Queen towards the end of 2022. There's going to be a huge backlash from over the Netflix programs and screening, because I feel it comes out at a bad time. Charles will come to become King Charles, but his reign, I feel, will be short. And funnily enough, actually, another royal prediction came true only yesterday, which surprised me really, because it was such a weird prediction I'd made. I predicted in my earlier videos from 2021 for 2022 that the king, I said Prince Charles at the time because he wasn't actually king at that time, but I said that Prince Charles would be hit by an egg. And of course, there it is, all in the press today.